Welcome wanderers, light workers, seekers on the path, all awakening beings. Welcome to the Sons of the Law of One podcast. I am your host, Glenn Pendleton, and this is episode 16, A Tour of Our Galaxy. This information is brought to us through Chief Little Summer and Warm Night Rain of the Hawk Clan of the Shawnee Nation. From the book, The Teachings for the Fourth Density Aquarian, Volume 2. Envision, if you will, a craft, a spacecraft, piloted and staffed by man, fourth density man, physical, humanoid, just like yourself. See yourself comfortably situated aboard this magnificent vehicle, basking in the harmony of love. Feel the warmth of the love that is indigenous to man, and accept the thrill of the adventure of discovery as you contemplate the ever so distant clusters of white stars glittering on their background of black velvet space. Enjoy the serenity of the craft as its force field is activated and the pilot has sought out a spiral thread of the energy of fabric of space. Look back on your planet, the Earth, as this majestic jewel glitters green with a tinge of light blue for her aura. As we pass the silver moon, this proud but aged grandmother remembered that she too was once a mother, and Earth life had its beginnings from this one. The Earth is the daughter of the moon. The Earth Mother is a satellite of the moon, and not the other way around, as Earth scientists would have you believe. The craft accelerates in speed. The speed of light is attained, and then that speed is squared, and then that speed is squared, and then that speed, and then that speed, up to the ninth power if desired. The force field is that which is accelerated. The craft itself is simply carried along within the field of energy. In our final look backwards, the entire solar system can be discerned as living, colorful jewels, nestled comfortably in the blackness of space. Other spacecraft can be seen from time to time. It is comforting to realize that we are not alone in all this vastness. The oceans of space are not fathomable. The horizon is unlimited. The size of space staggers the mind. The abundance of life is most comforting. To view our solar system as seen from the perspective of our Milky Way galaxy is a rare opportunity for Earthlings who have forever been bound to their planet and their galaxy. For those who are native to third density, this shall be an awesome experience. For those of you who are native to higher densities and are currently dwelling in the third density body, this little excursion should trigger some form of recall. The penetrating of the third density veil of forgetting bestowed upon you at birth is of vital importance. As we move towards the center of the galaxy, perhaps portions of your recall will be stimulated. Our destination is the city of Trantor. Actually, this city encompasses the entire planet. The planet is the second planet out from their sun. This sun is a star in the constellation that human beings call Sagittarius. Our charted course shall take us on a scenic route as we wind our way through the colorful constellations and other assorted sights and spectacles. The constellation Octans and then Pavo are encountered. In short order, the constellation of Tucana is viewed off the port side. The Octans have 3 major stars, while Pavo has 11. We silently pass the heart of the galaxy with white knuckles. We are grateful that the Galactic Logos would sanction such an adventure of discovery and beauty. This is the heart of the Logos. The body of the Logos is the galaxy itself. The Logos is an entity, not of this octave, not of this eternity. The entity hails from a special portion of the one infinite Creator and has evolved beyond the densities that comprise this octave. The Logos created this galaxy by thought alone. It then chose to manifest this thought form for the pleasure of the one infinite Creator. Each of the millions of galaxies have a Logos that did the same. The Logos continues to build its masterpiece by using the white light of dispersion. It erases that which it deems necessary by the use of the black light. Both black and white light contain all colors. Both are total. Both are the same. The law is one. The Galactic Logos is black light. The Galactic Logos is white light. The consciousness moves from octave to octave via the systems we call the black hole. That matter which enters a black hole is gone forever from this universe. However, nothing is ever lost. The atoms are separated, dispersed, and reassembled with other atoms to form new and different matter in a completely different universe that hums to a different vibration unheard of in our octave eternity. A Galactic Logos is not of our densities, or of this eternity, or of any eternity. The Galactic Logos is a direct emissary of the one infinite Creator. Those entities of this octave who are native of sixth density are sometimes called upon to represent this Logos. When a planet is going through a cycle that involves a density change, such as the Earth is currently, then it is not unusual for the Galactic Logos to be represented by an entity in a third density vehicle. This representative would be a transcendental soul, one who is capable of receiving the infinite soul, the Galactic Logos. There are several transcendental souls incarnated on Earth at this time, perhaps a half dozen or so. It is not known which one will be chosen to receive this awesome and divine vibration of the infinite soul, if indeed it is necessary at all. If evolution is somehow thwarted by the folly of third density, then the Galactic Logos shall freely step in and augment the timetable. One way or another, the new dispensation shall be born. The Galactic Logos is a creature of free will. This entity basks in humor and is patient beyond belief. However, when it comes to basic cycles and their timetables, this one is a no-nonsense type of father. His fragmented presence on a speck of dust called a planet is not unheard of. A Galactic Logos is not the one infinite Creator, though it is difficult, if not impossible, for our minds, the minds of men, to perceive an authority of higher status. Man of fourth density refers to the Galactic Logos as our Radiant One. Perhaps we should rest with that. We think upon the Creator of our galaxy as our ship's talented computers guide us safely through the maze of passageways of the nebula Trifid. Many crafts have been lost from the universe in the discovery of the proper course to set. We could have simply not bothered and navigated around Trifid, but it is a challenge that intrigues the mind of man, and there is our discovery. The galaxy is not constructed to appease the timid soul. Man, whom you are about to become, and whom you shall encounter on innumerable future occasions, does not engage in a profit-based economy. You will learn to trust and know that you can count on every stranger. Even in the most casual relationships, you can place your full trust and confidence. This shall take some getting used to. But remember, man is fourth density. Fourth density is green ray. Green ray is love. When the total vibration is love, all things are possible. All those of man walk in the light of our radiant one. You too are destined to do the same. For over 20 megatrillions of Earth years, fourth density man has traveled through space, seeking to discover what lies beyond. The end of the universe has never been found. There are billions upon billions of galaxies, farther than the mind can imagine, and there is ample evidence that the works of man are present in each and every galaxy. Our kin among the stars is never ending. The variety of vehicles employed by fourth density staggers the mind. Only 11 to 13% choose to incarnate in bodies that we term humanoid. The stars in any given galaxy, clustered or singular, may readily contain a system of planets that perhaps have, are, or will support physical life, as we choose to understand it. The discovery, the communication with these our kin is our destiny. We have so much to share with each other. This sharing produces knowledge. Knowledge is light. Light is intelligent infinity. Our craft from this sector of the Milky Way galaxy roams the farthest reaches of the universe to discover. Man is the seeker. His curiosity is overwhelming. His appetite for knowledge is insatiable as he passes ever outward into the infinite. In the 1950s, the Saturn Tribunal invited certain beings from afar to visit Saros, the planet we know as Earth. Some of these ones hailed from outside of our galaxy. Most were native to this Milky Way galaxy. These ones are skilled communicators and teachers. They had received the necessary permission to initiate a great movement of a spiritual nature. Minds were awakened and hearts were opened in the overwhelming presence of all this love. That which we commonly call New Age had its beginnings. Brotherhood on the international basis was in its infant beginnings. Unfortunately, this attitude has been uncommonly slow to catch on. The eagerness to engage in warfare has stymied this movement. However, there is always the positive side to every issue. The mass consciousness has been drawn in the direction of hopelessness, and therefore the need to start over seems to be the acceptable way of thinking with the future, since there is obviously no way to fix things. The catalyst that these special beings offered perhaps did not evolve on the path they had anticipated, but apparently the end results will be the same. The spiritual awakening is indeed happening. The galaxy, the family of man, offers their services. We are not alone. Cycles are established by the galactic logos. This creature of free will allows the same to flourish in this galaxy. However, this one exercises only limited patience when it comes to the execution of schedules, cycles. The law of motion decrees that this planet, this solar system, this galaxy, and even this universe is always in constant movement. This solar system is moving into a new sector of space. All the planets must be prepared for this new and magnificent experience. Saros is a laggard planet. The Radiant One, knowing that this third density cycle of 75,000 years is about to terminate, has seen fit to offer its special service to the Earth in the form of the black ray. This power can readily end an old cycle, even as its twin, the white light, creates a new cycle. Our world leadership has thwarted spiritual growth and enlightenment in their selfish quest for power, fame, and fortune. No sympathy in the form of a prolonged patience will be shown. The rate of progress for evolution, for enlightenment, has been accelerated. The Father, the Radiant One, the Galactic Logos, by whatever name, is lending a hand in the affairs of third density men, the earthlings that inhabit this wayward planet. First, second, and third densities are being shocked into awakening. Many of those who inhabit our galaxy have been granted the freedom to lend a helping hand. The law of confusion takes on a slightly different twist as schedules are kept and cycles are completed on time. All must undergo the experience. No one shall ever remain behind. A portion of creation shall not be forfeited so that the rest might progress. The laggards shall also advance. The earth and her inhabitants shall not be cast adrift and left behind. The mass consciousness is gradually coming around to the consensus of opinion that starting over is the only viable solution and choice we actually have. When this thought pattern reaches 50% plus 1, then the great changes shall begin in earnest. Free will has not been abridged. The end result is highly predictable. The method of arrival is the choice of the people. Our national leaders are escorting us down the path of hard knocks and considerable inconvenience. Man in his craft numbers some 500 million in this solar system alone. There are perhaps 10 million functioning out of Venus. There are millions of craft only moments away from our surface. The galaxy is teeming with life. All craft contain themselves within a self-generated force field. This force field renders the craft invisible unless they choose to alter this field in such a way that permits visibility to the human eye. Man has the ability to completely evacuate the population of this entire planet within 15 minutes if he would choose to do so. Our kin amongst the stars are indeed our true brothers and sisters. They are the positive ones and are of the universal confederation of man. There are also those of man who are positive but not members of the confederation. There are also those who are not friendly at all. You may not know the difference at an initial contact, but your higher self definitely knows. Follow your intuition always. It is as simple as that. We have tapped into intelligent infinity as well as certain ones who are native to fourth density. Since the transition is imminent, it is good for those of Earth to establish or renew their acquaintance with this, our galaxy. Through impressed thought, man has offered an ample supply of information concerning the subject. Many humans have picked up on these transmissions. For those Earthlings who have the ability to communicate, they share these stories in various forms, such as science fiction. The free will of the inspired author can cause the information to be distorted into any form. Though the reader may question the source of certain materials, we respectfully suggest that it be kept in mind that it is the thought that counts when the door of understanding is open. Does it really matter what the key looked like? You will soon enough forget the teacher, and that is as it should be. But you will retain the teachings forever, and that too is how it should be. Our galaxy is a beautiful and marvelous place. It beckons to one and all. Come and visit and stay for a spell. Make yourself right at home. The welcome mat is out to all. Man is anxiously excited to show you all the wonders that are contained in our galaxy. And then there are trillions of other galaxies. So there is so much to see and do and to learn. The discipline of patience is often put to the test. It was intended to be, and it shall be, a great race, a mighty civilization, shall develop on the planet that we lovingly call Earth. These ones shall traverse the unlimited corridors of space as man, as the rightful heritage of Earth has been duly accepted. The new illuminated Earth shall be a proud and magnificent abode for both visitors and those who have earned the right to be called native. The galaxy, the universe, is teeming with life in space and on other planets, anxiously awaiting your discovery. Life is filled with light and love. Life does a special dance to honor the discoveries of our Creator's magnificent works. The thrill of learning is matched by the thrill of teaching. There are those of you who read this material who will wonder where this information comes from. Obviously, it did not come from the laboratories of Earth scientists. Many of you have the ability to channel or to tap into intelligent infinity, cosmic consciousness, universal mind, via the use of your Kundalini meditations. There are countless entities residing in our galaxy who are continually offering information through telepathy to those of you open to receiving. You have your sources just as we do. There will be times when our distortion of fourth density will be very similar to your own. There will also be times when we appear to be very different. We ask that you be open to expansion in areas where our perception differs from yours. Remember, the law is one. Procyon. Let us begin our exploration of some of the planets in our galaxy by examining the greatest of them all, Procyon. This magnificent planet is home to fourth density man. This one has been continuously occupied by civilized man for over 50 billion years. That is more than 10 times longer than our Earth has been in existence. Procyon boasts the most advanced civilization in physical life in the entire galaxy, perhaps the universe, though that is argumentative. The inhabitants are highly evolved fourth density beings that are the epitome of what all of fourth density is striving for. For the individual, fourth density lasts as long as 30 million years. Many, many cycles of fourth density were required to build this civilization to the status that we find today. There are energy fields, force fields of the inhabitants' will that encompass the planet. These energies are unique in quality and variety. The planet Procyon, a product of the star system of the same name, is invisible to the naked eye and to the instrument as well. This is a misnomer, for the planet only appears to be invisible. Actually, the force field surrounding this one produce this effect. As a visitor approaches, a feeling of love and well-being is the greeting, though nothing is yet observed. As you draw nearer, the love vibration enthralls your very beingness. As you begin to acclimate yourself to this strange and powerful love energy, then there is a sudden flash of white light, and your attunement quickens. Your blindness is temporary, as forms begin to take on solidity. Multicolored bands, streaks, and fields of energy quickly become visible. You begin to think energy, to feel energy, to be energy, as you adapt to this one's enormous powers. The array is stupendous. It is breathtaking. Spires and spirals begin to take shape amidst the color patterns. The physical structure of a mighty civilization appears through the mist of energy fields. As you are guided to the surface, you note the lush vegetation is pure and undisturbed. The mountains and valleys are pristine. There are no paths, no roads. First and second density remain undisturbed, unmolested. Levitation, actuated by the flowing layers of surface energy, permits us to move about by thought power alone, without the feet ever touching the ground. It is amazing how quickly we can get used to this mode of travel. It seems so natural. The visitor is guided everywhere. Love abounds. Columns of invisible energy support the architecture. Colossal buildings that touch the clouds are suspended above the planet. Perfect harmony with second density is achieved. The inhabitants appear and then disappear before us. They are physical, but their mobility is by thought alone. The airwaves are filled with pleasant musical sounds. With practice, one can attune to the current thought patterns employed by the citizenry. A large dome structure is centrally located among the cluster of smaller buildings. Within this dome there hangs, suspended near the top of a great ball, a swirling light, slowly rotating on a moving axis. This ball of light has the power of 1,000,000 suns. This created scientific device has the ability to alter the atomic structure of all matter upon this planet. Each citizen enjoys the privilege, responsibility to use this energy at will. Man has truly evolved to exquisite heights on Procyon. As you leave this one and look back before the force fields cause it to disappear from view, you will notice that it is emerald green, just like our Earth. Aldebaran. Here is a large and active sun as it does its dance in a black velvet of unmitigated space. Spiraling tongues of flame are continually emitted from the face of this entity. The hydrogen furnaces jump with joy as Aldebaran proudly announces her existence. If our own sun were to do as much, the tongues of flame would reach well beyond Jupiter. This sun is a spectacular sight to behold. Well away from this jubilant activity, the planet system had its beginnings. A careful count indicates that there are 12 planets, each supporting one or more moons. This is a diversified system. All are first density, of course. Some support second density, some second and third, some second and fourth. Fifth density are also found in this system. There are 5 distinct races of people who dwell here. The races are separated by the planets. All do not dwell on one given planet. Evolution can readily be catalyzed by observing the entirety of the Aldebaran system. The fourth density planets have developed their surfaces to the point where transportation is achieved without vehicles. Moving fields of light serve as causeways that safely transport the citizenry to any point upon the surface, almost instantaneously. The moving light assists in teleportation. These flowing roads of light are spectacularly beautiful after dark or when viewed from a distance. The planet is crisscrossed with shafts of multicolored lights. For interstellar travel, they use spacecraft like everyone else. Their craft are manufactured, manifested within their own system. And unlike most other designs, these ones are totally spherical in shape. An elaborate electromagnetic propulsion system has been developed that has allowed long-range excursions to take place. Their craft have been seen in the skies above Earth. It was from this Aldebaran system that came those who built our great pyramids and placed the stabilizing generators underneath to prevent our Earth's axis from flipping at random. This was approximately 48,000 Earth years ago. The third planet out is the traditional home of the man whom we affectionately know as Isu, the Lord of our Earth. This is a small and exquisite planet that is designed as a sanctuary. It is sparsely populated. Betelgeuse. As this one is approached, soft violet light flows through our bodies and entices us to land. One walks upon the surface and sees the structures manifested by man, but there is an eerie yet comfortable feeling that is difficult to describe, for no one is to be seen. The golden rays of their sun strike the surface at an acute angle. The flowers and bushes radiate their colors in this light. The tall spires grow in the golden light. It appears to have been recently abandoned. There is a strong yet subtle violet energy that entertains the mystery. The gardens, the vegetation, the pathways of secluded beauty are inviting. The fountains flow with multicolored water. An atmosphere begs to be shared. Though no one is to be seen, the feeling of being alone does not prevail. A being, a man, slowly manifests before our eyes. This one is a master. So many more also manifest their presence. This place could be likened unto a monastery, or perhaps a retreat. This is a high place where masters gather to meditate and commune with their source. This is not an intrusion upon their privacy, and visitors are welcome, but it is felt that a short visit would be most wise. Terminus Haton. This planet is known to astronomers as the star Muvela. This can be viewed to the best advantage from Earth's South Pole region, between the constellations of Volans and Carina at the edge of Aviar is an area known as Gum Nebula. Terminus Haton is approximately 1,500 light years from Earth and is part of the Vela system. The Gum Nebula is the largest in the galaxy. The antimatter-matter conversion is what causes the hydrogen to ionize. This nebula is not energized by cosmic radiation or by a supernova, as are most nebula. But as all nebula, this is most spectacular. The antimatter is running thin, and unless it is resupplied, the show will end. Terminus supports a variety of climates, from the cold polar regions to arid areas near the equator. These conditions are predetermined. There are 6 force field generators strategically located that control the environment of this noble planet. Garden spots are frequent, especially on small islands in medium-sized lakes of sparkling water. The vegetation would be familiar to Earthlings, for part of it was a conscription from Earth. The inhabitants of Terminus are well-traveled, and it is not unusual for many of them to collect token souvenirs from the many planets of their visits, and return home with them to enhance the variety of beauty on their own already magnificent planet. This planet is highly evolved, 4th density, and some are already accepting their harvest into 5th density. This is a tranquil place to meditate and contemplate the past and the future. Sirius. The brightest star in our heavens is Sirius, the dog star. This solar system embraces 3rd density men and 4th density man. There exists a great deal of harmony between the 2 densities, though they do not share the same planets. Senior looks after Junior, and it is a workable relationship. 3rd density is highly industrious, and 4th density provides the know-how. 3rd density is always in need of energy, physical energy to do physical things. Solar energy is capitalized upon to a scale that staggers the imagination. Great mining operations are generally bill of fare. This system is rich in ore that is rare to this galaxy. These materials and alloys are of an atomic structure unknown to the planet Earth. Calarium, for example, is hundreds of times harder than diamonds. Life in this system is industrious. 3rd and 4th density entities from Sirius have visited Earth several times in the past. The Earth has been seeded at various intervals during the past 75,000 years, and those of Sirius had an occasional hand in the process. There is another system known as Sirius B that has only recently been discovered by Earth astronomers. These ones also visited Earth, especially the Dogon peoples of Africa. They came to teach. It should be noted that those native to Sirius B inhabit bodies that are amphibian. During the daylight hours, they would work with and teach the Dogon peoples. At sundown, they would retire to the sea to spend the night. There have been at least 2 visits to Earth by these ones from Sirius B. The Dogon people have a perfect chart of the sky, showing the exact orbit of the planet and of the Sirius B star. Astronomers were amazed at their knowledge and the accuracy of their charts. Of course, they refused to believe the source of the information. The dual system of Sirius is a bright spot in the heavens and does not go unnoticed. The Pleiades. The Pleiades is a cluster of 7 stars and their system. The group is often called the Seven Sisters. The 7th star is rather faint and cannot readily be discerned by the naked eye. Perhaps this group of star clusters offers the greatest variety of first, second, third, and fourth density entities, expressing themselves in diversified ways in such a small sector of space. One can find everything here. Many forms of man and men are dwelling in physical bodies other than humanoid. There is symbiotic love throughout. Even in second and third density, there is cooperation within the species and between the species to aid each other in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to promote progressive evolution. There are approximately 6 dozen planets within the combined 7 solar systems, a great number of which are inhabited. One of these planets has been designated to receive Earth's unharvestables after the transition harvest takes place. This planet has an etheric yellow ray plane already attached to it. The hierarchy has arranged it. 5th density entities have parked their conventional bodies and have manifested amphibian bodies in which to dwell on this pristine planet. This variety of amphibians are now the breeding stock that initiates incarnations from the surrounding etheric plane. By the spring of 1989, the Earth's isolated etheric plane had all but been evacuated by man. The inhabitants from our plane have been duly transported to the etheric plane surrounding the Pleiadian planet. There they are observing physical life on the beautiful planet below them as they await their turn to incarnate. These former Earthlings now have no recall of planet Earth and the types of lives they have conducted here. The lessons previously learned shall be retained. Their spiritual status will not have changed. A brand new 75,000 year third density cycle is now before them. They may use as much of it as they deem necessary. The 5th density entities are offering themselves as temporary seed stock and will aid in setting up the first civilization. This will be the first root race. The first ones to incarnate will be the most advanced ones that the senior, mature third density has to offer. Consequently, the new endeavor shall get off to a good flying start. The first 25,000 years should be grand and glorious. After that, the ne'er-do-wells, the laggard ones, begin to incarnate in large numbers. If old patterns persist, deterioration shall be the outcome. However, serious thought has been given by the Galactic Council, with the blessings of the Galactic Logos, to infringe upon the free will of those career third density laggard ones and cause them to assume responsibility for their destructive activities, which would force them to grow up and stop toying with stagnation. These ones have been collected from all over the galaxy, and what to do with them is becoming a problem of concern. They literally destroy every planet that they incarnate on, en masse. The Earth Mother is now another victim. It matters not whether they use a hydrogen bomb or a chainsaw. The results are the same. In their new amphibian bodies, the new third density will not have the physical ability to make or use tools. This will eliminate industry altogether, which should prevent these ones from destroying their new home. More severe measures will be exercised in the future. Mars, Maldek, and now Earth are dead and dying examples of the destructive power these ones, the accumulation of laggard souls, can accomplish. This must be changed. Third density shall still be born without a memory, but for certain ones perhaps a lobotomy is in order. The Pleiadians have been highly instrumental in the Earth's development. The lack of global transportation made the Earth's continents isolated, and races of men could develop on a course of their choosing without knowledge or interference from others. This was an ideal situation that lasted for many, many centuries. Those from the Pleiades seeded certain continents on various occasions over the past 75,000 years. So active they have been in Earth's development, they willingly assume responsibility for her future. Offering a planet in their midst is but an example. They anxiously await the time when the Earth's harvest will be complete and the Earth's etheric plane is peeled away and then incorporated within the existing etheric plane surrounding the pristine planet in their midst. It might be likened unto their own children coming home. Those of the Pleiades group are old and wise parents. The Orion group. Orion's belt is one of the more easy constellations to spot. There are planets that orbit the stars that comprise that renowned constellation. They are significant in their own right, to be sure, and are most worthy of visitation. If there is any hesitancy to do so, we can understand why. This one tolerates a maligned reputation. These entities of the constellation Orion are not negative. From the perspective of Earth, it is the great sector of space beyond the Orion constellation that is the habitat of those who are dedicated to the service to self. Metaphysicians, including ourselves, refer to the negative ones as Orion, or those of Orion. This is an accepted misnomer and should be understood and cleared up in the mind of the reader. Portions of the social memory complex, of which warm night rain is a part, calls the star system Castor their home. Castor is the head of the twin on the right of the constellation Gemini. It is somewhat in line with Rigel and Betelgeuse in the Orion constellation. Alpha Centauri. Now let us examine a star system that astronomers deem to be the closest to Earth, Alpha Centauri. This is a large white sun whose light is blinding as one approaches. There are two planets that orbit this one. The smaller planet is called Beta Centauri, and the larger one is known as Centaurus. Centaurus is not quite as large as Jupiter, but its size rivals those of our outer planets. Lofty, rugged mountains provide the backbone that all but circumnavigates the planet. Its rugged beauty is breathtaking. This enormous ridge tends to divide the planet into two hemispheres, one side looking much like the other. The low fourth density people who reside here are exuberant in their vitality and joy for living. Their harmonious attunement to second density on their planet is a loving sight to behold. Their evolution is approximately 15 to 18,000 years ahead of Earth and about 10 to 12,000 years ahead of Venus. These peoples are well known throughout the galaxy and even the universe. Their craft have appeared in our skies, but only briefly. There has been no contact. This mighty race is something of a standard bearer for early development fourth density. For those who inherit our new Earth will be privileged to observe these ones and others to formulate the patterns of your own new direction. Tiamat, Wimset system. Actually, the closest solar system to our own is Tiamat system. Man refers to this one as Wimset system. This is a small sun that had 5 orbiting planets. This system orbits our system every 3,652 years. The orbit is elliptical. The top arc across our orbital plane of planets is very shallow, while the bottom arc is quite deep. This system passes Earth every 1,800 years, but the arc is so deep that the event is not noticed. The top arc is flat enough to easily permit visible sights during its sojourn. The Mayan proverb, "I remember when the earth had one sun, I remember when the earth had 2 suns, then I remember when the earth had 1 sun again." This would indicate that the passing took place within a lifetime. Something orbiting something else is not the exception but the rule. For example, Sirius A and Sirius B are 1,800 million miles apart. They orbit each other every 48.8 years. Even as the electron orbits the proton of the atom, the microcosm of the macrocosm. The first planet out from the Tiamat Sun system is a small planet called Eurus. This planet is high fourth density and is moving into fifth density quite rapidly. The second planet out is called Eschurs and is forever locked into first density. The third planet out is known as Sepulchre. Its more recognizable name is Venus. Sepulchre had a very erratic orbit that actually endangered the existence of her four sisters. When Lucifer destroyed Maldek in our own system, this created a terrible imbalance. The Saturn Tribunal elected to take the erratic third density Sepulchre out of the Tiamat system and installed this tiny planet between Mercury and Earth to balance out the system. The method worked, and Sepulchre was renamed Venus. You will note that Venus's rotation is opposite of all the other planets in our system. The fourth planet out is called Rhos. This one is fourth density and sometimes is referred to as Solarium. The fifth planet out is the fifth density vibration and is known by the name of Laganya. The inhabitants of these planets had little to do with the seeding of Earth, but they all sent countless emissaries of teachers over the past 75,000 years. Mu and Atlantis were benefactors. In more recent times, the Inca and the Mayan peoples capitalized on these great teachings. Many of the spacecrafts in our skies, seen and unseen, come from this source. The last time the Tiamat system made a visible pass was 1500 BC. It is due again at any time. The authors of this book have a special affinity for Laganya and choose to call this one home when duty calls us to this sector of space. For more wonderful insights into creation from Chief Little Summer and Warm Night Rain, please visit piquapress.com. That's Piqua. The music for this episode was Dawn of the Gods, Part 3 and 4 by Paul Abgarinos. Please visit thesonsoflaw1.com and subscribe to the podcast to get each episode as they are published. You'll find Law of One PDFs, videos, other audio, and the Law of One directory of sites. That's all for now. Love and light to all.